Hey everybody, Weasel here, and we have another podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get into it. I found another article from, yes, of course, my favorite medium, Hedge. It's kind of funny how I can find all this political stuff on Hedge when I believe they're technically like a financial medium. But anyways, and yes, it's my favorite author on this medium, as you guys, I'm sure, guessed, Tyler Durden. Again, Tyler, if you ever do make it onto this channel or podcast, I just want you to know how much we appreciate you. We love your work. Thank you for referencing all of your stuff. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you for checking the facts and reporting them to us. We really do appreciate you. So, Tyler, again, you do a wonderful job. Now, let's see here. What's the title of the article? The White House is running this. Quote, the White House is running this, end quote. Grassley demands DOJ unredact mystery Strzok and Page texts. I love his name, just Strzok. He's a piece of garbage, but I love his name. Strzok. Okay, so what are they referring to here in the title? The White House running this? I have no idea. We're going to find out. But Grassley demands DOJ unredacted mystery Strzok and Page texts. I haven't read the article yet, but I'm assuming what he's referring to is, in case you don't remember, maybe you do remember, a little while back there was discovered about 50,000 plus text messages exchanged between Strzok and Page. Those are both two FBI agents, and interestingly enough, Robert Mueller, when he stepped in as special counsel, I believe he either demoted Strzok or he just moved him to a different area, different department, something along those lines, because this guy is knee deep in garbage. I mean, well, he's a crap magnet anyway, but let's find out what Tyler is saying here. Again, Tyler, thank you. We really appreciate you. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, now he's a Republican from Iowa, fired off a letter to the Department of Justice Wednesday demanding unredacted versions of the text messages between former agent Peter Strzok and former bureau attorney Lisa Page. Okay, so she wasn't an agent, she was an attorney. I knew that. Sorry, I just had it wrong. Quick question before we move any further. Let's give them an ugly color because they really are some ugly people. All right. Quick question. Who here thinks, by show of hands, just sitting there at home listening, because I know I have such a large crowd, put your hand up and let me know if you think these two were having an affair. Now, just hear me out. I know I shouldn't go there, but I have to. Why? Hear me out. Over 50,000 text messages in that short period of time. Okay, they're both in different departments. She's an attorney, okay, for the FBI. And he's an agent. A slimeball agent, but he's still an agent. So, 50,000 plus, where they're obviously extremely biased against Trump, and they wanted that criminal Secretary Clinton to win the election and all that jazz and be the next, of course, president of the United States. Thank God she wasn't. Started choking up just thinking about that thought. But 50,000 plus texts. If we could unredact those text messages, all of them, how many of them do you think are like sexting or like making plans to meet up for the evening at a restaurant together, or what hotel room they're gonna sully, that kind of stuff, or how many escorts they want for that evening between the two of them, that kind of thing, the stuff that those kind of people are into. I truly believe it. I really do, but we don't really know, so let's just move on. Including one exchange which took place after Strzok had returned from London as part of recently launched Operation Crossfire Hurricane. Now, if you remember Operation Crossfire Hurricane, I keep doing that. Senator Grassley, I do appreciate you, but I don't need to see your ugly face every time, okay? Operation Crossfire Hurricane was the operation from the original start of the FBI spying on the Trump campaign. That's what it was. And if you go back to some of our former podcasts, we covered that in part, of course. We didn't get too in depth. I would like to get more into depth. I'm just waiting on more information to come out when I really have a lot more to talk about and proof about things. So, referring to the White House running, quote, running, end quote, an unknown investigation. Now, when Tyler is mentioning, and by the way, thank you, Tyler. We really do appreciate you. You are wonderful. So eloquently, you have a way with words. Let's put it that way. So thank you. But referring to the White House, quote, running, end quote, an unknown investigation, what Tyler is trying to point out here is the fact that there was a cabal, to use Mr. Levin, Mark Levin's words, there was a cabal of, which, by the way, we love Mark Levin, or at least I do. He's a great guy. If you haven't met him or listened to any of his radio shows or TV shows, I definitely recommend you jump online, look him up. You won't be disappointed. Extremely smart man. Very well educated. Anyways, and this cabal was just a small, tight-knit group in the leadership. Let me say that again. In the leadership of the FBI and potentially the Department of Justice who were doing this. Which one could argue, if that is true in the case, which I truly believe it is, then obviously the very top knew about it. No doubt about it. One could conclude, of course. That's not, remember, this is allegedly, this is just my opinion, okay? So, anyways, so there was a cabal. It was a group of them doing an unknown investigation. That's why I said unknown investigation. Because this is very, very hush-hush at the very top level. All the slime balls at the top, okay? Anyways, let's move forward. After Senator Ron Johnson, Republican from Wisconsin, fought tooth and nail for their release, the DOJ provided heavily redacted texts. Heavily redacted. What were they covering up? Everything's classified these days. Heavily redacted on May 1st and May 18th. The visible portions of the texts, however, are troubling in light of recent developments, prompting Grassley's request for unredacted copies. So, what Tyler is telling us here, and again, thank you, Tyler. We really do appreciate you. You are a wonderful guy. Keep doing what you're doing. But what Tyler is pointing out here is the unredacted sections of these transcripts of the text messages between Strzok and Page is hinting towards some other things that have been covered up, potentially. There may be redacted information that is incriminating into other investigations, like, say, the Russian investigation and, of course, the Clinton investigation with the emails and all that jazz, and whatever else those slime balls at the top of the Bureau were doing. Which, who knows? Sky's the limit with those idiots. Quote, when viewing the still redacted portions in context with the unredacted material, it appeared that the redacted portions may contain relevant information. That's exactly what I was just saying. And Tyler's got it in bold here. Again, thank you, Tyler. We appreciate you. You're very wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. Relating to the committee's ongoing investigation into the matter in which the Department of Justice and FBI handled the Clinton and Russian investigations, end quote, Senator Chuck Grassley. Now, he is a Republican senator from Iowa, by the way. So this is what I was just saying. The redacted portions may contain relevant information. And I think what he's going to do, Tyler's going to do, thank you, Tyler, by the way, we love you, you're wonderful. What he's going to do is point out some of what the senators have noticed here with the redacted transcripts. In particular, Grassley notes, quote, as one example of redacted material in a text message produced to the committee, the price of Andrew McCabe's $70,000 conference table was redacted. Now, for you, those of you who don't know, Andrew McCabe was the deputy. He was second in command. He was right under Comey. He was Comey's hand job guy. Right-hand man. And the guy apparently has he ordered a $70,000 conference table. And they redacted it. They tried to cover that up. Obviously, I would too if it were me, because how do you justify a $70,000 conference table? This is the FBI. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exciting stuff. Think about it. This is our tax-paying money right here going to buy these elitists that are at the leadership of the FBI. They've infiltrated the FBI. These elitists are living the life in their office. I mean, who do they have to impress with a $70,000 conference table? I'm a business owner. I don't even have that to impress people. I mean, come on. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew McCabe, you are a piece of trash. The slimiest of slimy, man. He really is. I mean, look at this. And of course Comey knew about it. Comey's probably the one that told him to do it. But I digress, because I'm getting into just random babbling at this point. I'm making no sense. So I'll move forward, wasting everybody's time. Sorry about that. In another, an official's name was redacted in reference to a text about the Obama White House running an investigation, although it is unclear to which investigation they were referring. Okay, so, yeah, that would be nice to know, wouldn't it? What did Obama have his fingers on? What did he know and what didn't he know? And here we go. Here it is right here. He is showing us... Make sure I'm recording. And he's showing us right here. The table alone was $70K. You can't repeat that. And then there was another one with Strzok. Excuse me. Strzok and High. Went well. Best we could have expected, other than Liz's quote, "The White House is running this," end quote. Okay, so we don't know what it refers to, and that's their point. They want to know what it refers to, because it could just lead to more garbage. And we all know that the entire Obama administration was sleazy and full of garbage. So obviously there is most likely a 99.9999999% chance that there is something to uncover. The entire administration is a scandal, but I digress. What's notable about the message referring to the White House is that Strzok had returned from London to interview Australian Ambassador Alexander Downer. Now, Downer was the one who George Papadopoulos made the comment to that started the whole FISA, that they used to warrant the FISA court, or I'm not saying that properly, am I? In order to justify the warrant through the FISA court to spy on the Trump campaign. As he's saying right here, I guess I should have just kept reading, huh? I talk too much. About a drunken conversation with Trump campaign aide George Papadopoulos, who, after reportedly being fed information, mentioned Russia having Hillary Clinton's emails. And that's how they did it, which is, I have a video clip for everybody from Fox News. And it's from the Hannity show. I don't want to take all 4 minutes. I just want to point out something in it to everybody. I'm going to show it to you guys now. But what happened was, I have a clip and I want to show it to everybody. It's from Fox News. It's on the Hannity show. I don't want to play all like 4 minutes, but I just want to show it to you guys. I found it very interesting. Here we go. Let me go ahead and play that.
Breaking news and opening monologue, Fox News national security strategist Sebastian Gorka and attorney Victoria Tunsing. Full disclosure, she has done some legal work for me in the past, and I am proud to be a friend of both of them. Let's start with you, Victoria. A lot to break down here tonight.
Listen, Sean, since last December, my husband Joe DeGeneva and I have been saying that there was a brazen plot to clear Hillary Clinton and to frame Donald Trump if he became president. And now we're seeing that plot unravel. Listen, Brennan, Clapper, and I'm going to say it, the Obama White House targeted people on Donald Trump's foreign policy team. And the professor they tried to get two of them, Carter Page and my client, Sam Clovis, who I hope will be with us sometime next week. And they didn't bite. But then they found the weak link, a 20-some-year-old George Papadopoulos. And here's what's been reported. And it's really, when you think about it, and I started researching it today, George Papadopoulos is told by a professor with close ties to the Kremlin that the Russians have Hillary's emails. That's in April. In May, George finds himself at a bar in London, and some gorgeous blonde comes up and starts buying him drinks. My goodness. And then she introduces him to her good friend, the Australian ambassador, and somehow the conversation goes to Hillary Clinton's
four-way
emails.
hearsay.
So we know that some lady shows up out of nowhere, probably half naked, boobies hanging out, you know how that goes, feeding him drinks, flirting with him, trying to get him to talk. Now, what is this woman saying? Is this woman out of her mind? Does she actually have it backwards? Was the FBI just there investigating? Or were they trying to entrap some of the people that were part of the Trump campaign? Which way was it? Well, what do we know about her? Okay, this is Victoria. I can't say her name properly, so forgive me. Toinzine, I think is how you say it, but I covered her in one of the last podcasts briefly, her and her husband, because her husband did an interview with the Daily Caller talking about who the FBI asset was in the Trump campaign. That guy who is a professor at Cambridge, Halper, Stephen Halper. But anyways, well, that's that guy DeGenova, who was interviewed by the Daily Caller. This is his wife. And so she and her husband have a long-standing. She and her husband have represented a lot of whistleblowers, people in very similar situations to, say, the FBI agents who are part of the rank and file that want to come out. They want to be subpoenaed so they can tell the truth. Well, they have a reputation of helping those people, true Americans. So that is what she is saying. And she uses a term here. Let's go ahead and play. And she uses a term here that I want everybody to catch.
Four-way hearsay. Hearsay is not admissible in court. You're the attorney, correct, Victoria?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter here, for goodness sakes. He's just saying that he's just talking about Hillary's. There's a term for it, Sean. It's called honey trapping. This is classic spy agency, CIA. I used to be chief counsel for the Senate Intelligence Committee. This is classic spying technique, honey trapping, using the lure of sex to get somebody to open up.
Unbelievable.
And then,
and Dowder, by the way, paid $25,000 himself to the $25 million to the Clinton Foundation.
Shut up, Hannity.
And then to use that flimsy information
Let her talk.
to start an entire surveillance and investigation of the Trump campaign just boggles the mind.
Absolutely. And I would wholeheartedly... Hello? Can I get out of there, please? Thank you very much. And I would wholeheartedly agree with her. Honeypotting, isn't that the term she used? She was counsel to the Intelligence Committee. She knows this stuff. She's seen it before. She's seen the reports on it. It's not fooling her. She's a highly intelligent woman. Okay? And you hear what she's saying to us? She's saying, look what happened here. You know, and I bet that woman that entrapped Mr. Papadopoulos, I bet she was hot, wasn't she? I'm sorry, I shouldn't, I'm probably going to have to edit that out. I shouldn't say that, but I bet she looked good. She was probably a looker, I bet she looked really good. Very beautiful woman, of course. And who doesn't want to see a beautiful woman? And admire God's beauty, so to speak. So, anyways, let's move forward. Sorry, I'm starting to daydream here and getting off track. And so he lays out, so Tyler Durden here, the author, lays out, again, Tyler, thank you. You're wonderful. We really do appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. We love your articles. Thank you for this article. Keep doing what you're doing. You have my support. Anyways, so he's laying out some of the stuff here. He's showing it for us in the black and white on paper, exactly what he was talking about, which is kind of cool. But let's go ahead and move on down. Strzok and Page were kicked off of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe over the summer when the Department of Justice's Inspector General Michael Horowitz discovered over 50,000, see there it is, 50,000 texts. Just like I said, discovered over 50,000 texts between the two FBI employees. I mean, they had to have been having an affair. I'm sorry. I know I keep going back to it, but come on. 50,000 texts. Man. I mean, you really don't think they were just talking about the Yankees, do you? I mean, seriously. Many of which showed clear bias for Hillary Clinton and against Donald Trump. Let me repeat that. Many of which showed clear bias for Hillary Clinton and against Donald Trump. In a Monday meeting with President Trump, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein agreed to instruct Horowitz to investigate how the FBI, quote, conducted its counterintelligence investigation of persons suspected of involvement with the Russian agents who interfered in the 2016 presidential election, end quote. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, there it is, right there. That needs an awesome color. We'll give it purple. I didn't know that. See, I haven't even read this one yet. Now I need to do some more research based off of this paragraph here from Tyler's article. And again, Tyler, thank you. Again, we really appreciate you. You're a wonderful guy. Thank you for what you do. Keep doing what you do. But what he's saying here is he's saying that President Trump and Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein have agreed to instruct Horowitz to investigate the FBI. So he's going to investigate his own agency is what's going to happen. And how much do you want to bet they're going to call for another special counsel? I touched on this in another podcast, but I will say it again. I believe they're going to call for another special counsel, and I hope they do. I really hope they do, which in turn obviously is going to put some pressure on Robert Mueller as well. And that's probably how, to be honest with you, a lot of the opposition is going to spin it. They're going to say, "Oh, you're just trying to hire up or bring in a new special counsel just so you can interfere with Robert Mueller's special counsel because it's going to apply the obvious pressure to Robert Mueller and his Russian probe investigation." Blah, 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 blah. I'm retarded, but I like to talk anyways. So, quote, based on the meeting with the president, the Department of Justice has asked the Inspector General to expand its current investigation to include any irregularities with the Federal Bureau of Investigations or the Department of Justice's tactics concerning the Trump campaign. Yes, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, they're going to step up their game. They're going balls to the wall. Excuse my phrase, but they are. They're going balls to the wall. They're going to investigate it all, which is a good thing. Somebody's going to jail. Somebody's going to jail. No, that's a lie. We all know that nobody's going to jail. All those people deserve to go to jail, but they're too powerful. They're too well connected. They're not going to jail. And that's just the way it is. But we could at least hope to expose all of it. So thank you, President Trump. Really do appreciate you. Let's see, and of course, Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and Mr. Horowitz. We really do appreciate you guys. All right, so quote: it was also agreed that White House Chief of Staff John Kelly will immediately set up a meeting with the FBI, DOJ, DNI, together with congressional leaders to review highly classified and other information they have requested. Whoop 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 whoop. And you know what that means then? That means that there is a possibility that Congress and their investigations, because you have both houses are looking into this. Nunez is hot on their trail. They hate this guy, and he's from California, the most liberal state there is, by the way. Anyways, but both houses are investigating this. I mean, they're on it. And so from what this sounds like is the FBI and the DOJ, they're always opposition. They never cooperate, or they haven't been cooperating very well with what's going on, because they're looking into the investigations and the way that the FBI and DOJ conducted all of this, and they're looking to see who broke the law and which one of these slime balls needs to go to jail and all that jazz. But they're always trying to cover their tracks. So, trying to get information, Congress, it's just been a big pain. I mean, look at the heavily redacted 50,000 text messages that are covering up other crimes, potentially. Again, now remember, this is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. I just putting facts together, drawing my own conclusions. So allegedly. But yeah, so thanks guys for being here. And again, let's go back up. We want to thank you, Mr. Durden, Tyler Durden, for your article here. We love you. You're wonderful. You are an amazing guy, and we really do appreciate you taking the time to fill us in and keep us up to date. So again, thank you, Tyler, and to you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This will conclude our podcast, and I want everybody to get excited. I should have a second podcast out today, if not tomorrow, but I want everybody to get excited because there is a possibility that somebody may be going to jail. I mean, somebody might get prosecuted. Somebody might go to jail. Somebody might get locked up. Lock them up!